Hello, today I'm going to do some weathering, basically just in the wheel wells right now, because I'll do a lot more once I put the axle in, but it's going to be easier to get in here with the axle out. So like I said, I'm making the race version of this car, so I'm going to put some mud and dirt up in the wheel wells. And it's mostly going to be dry dirt because the only time he was in the dirt was at lap 31, and I'm making the lap 199 car, so all that dirt, or all the mud, should have been dry by then. So I'll show you kind of how I do that. What I use is just normal craft paint. So I'm using this and some white to mix it whatever shade of brown I want. I've also got this other kind of darker brown if I need to darken it up. I do have some black as well, but I won't be doing much in the wheel wells, like I said, just because I'm going to be doing a lot more later on. All right, so I got my color, and I'm going to try to apply it with this sponge. It's just a normal sponge, spongy type material. And I'm not going to use much. Just going to kind of pat it out of there a little bit. And that's still probably too much, but I think I can get it. Alright, so that's kind of what the first coat is looking like. I still probably had too much paint on there, but so this side looks a little bit better. I'll try to dab some of this out of here. So there's what that looks like. Okay, from the side. I may do another coat, a little bit darker, probably. I may use just the straight nutmeg. Just kind of give it a contrast. And I won't use near as much of that as I did of the lighter color. Alright, let's see what we come up with here. Alright, so you see, it just gives it a little bit of a different kind of look to it because there's two different colors in there. So let all that dry, and then I don't know if I'm going to do another color in there or not. I'll probably just leave it like that. I think it'll be fine. And then put the axle in. I could probably put the engine in. And then all of that'll be ready to go. I do believe. Yeah, I think that turned out pretty good. And like I said, I'm going to weather a lot more. It's just I wanted to get underneath there because it's harder to do with the axle. I might need to go back in there and get in that crease because that would have dirt in it too. Although I'm going to use a brush to get down in there, I think. Where'd the brush go? Alright, so that looks a lot better, where it's not just a obvious spot that I didn't hit. Yeah, it looks a lot better. Alright, I'll let that dry and then I'll start getting to putting the rear end in. Just going to do some detailed painting on this seat. So the 79 Daytona 500 had 11 rookies. There's a couple of pretty big names in that rookie list. Chuck Bown, Ralph Jones, Terry Labonte, NASCAR champion, Jeff Bodine, Ronnie Thomas, Gary Ballou, Joe Milliken, Paul Fess, Dave Watson, Butch Mock, and Dale Earnhardt. Dale Earnhardt led 10 laps in that race, the first laps he had ever led in NASCAR, in the Winston Cup division anyway. And he later said that he had never driven so hard in his life because he wanted to succeed so bad. And it shows because he went after it. He had something go wrong with his car. I don't remember what. But he was he was up there leading, which is pretty badass if you ask me. So as you can see, I just added silver to the buckle parts of the 5-point harness. Just kind of give a little bit of detail. And I painted the seatbelts red mainly to just contrast it, just to give it a little bit of pop, because more than likely they were black, but the red looks fine. And once that silver dries, I'm going to go over it with 1 coat of future floor polish to give it a vinyl seat look. It'll bring out the shine a little bit, and it does a good effect. So once that silver dries, I'll go ahead and do that. I'll be right back. All right, I've got the rear end in, and I'm going to start doing some weathering. I'm going to focus on the truck arms back because I don't have the engine in yet, which there'll be a little bit of mud up here behind where the tires were, but for the most part I'm going to focus on this area back here, and I'm going to do what I did here with the wheel well. So still got my sponge. All right, here we go. Try to focus on where the mud might be. It's mostly going to be around where the tires are, but some will get, in a couple other places. Try to get some of the rear end housing here. A little bit more. In here, maybe. It doesn't have to be anything accurate, just putting a little bit of color on it is all you're really trying to do. Because obviously there's no undercar pictures of this, so you're just trying to put the stuff about where you'd think some dirt or mud would be. Try to get in here a little bit. Do the second color again like I did before. The darker, just kind of straight nutmeg and just kind of go over the places. Nothing too major. That looks pretty good. Just kind of gives a little bit of color. I wonder if I should get some down in here, maybe if I can. because it looks awful. Just kind of sticking out that there was nothing down in there. Probably would have been something, I would think. Because if you watch the video of him going in there, he goes in there pretty damn deep. So that's too much right there, I think. So all right, what I probably need to do is do a brush on that interior part. Let's see if I can just kind of dab that around in there a little bit. All right, I think that looks pretty good. Okay, next we're gonna do is I'm gonna get some silver. We're gonna do some kind of streaking where the car would have kind of been hitting the ground a little bit. And like I said, I'm just gonna focus on this part back, and I'll get the rest of it later on. Just kind of show you what I'm talking about. It's not really going to be much down here. It's going to be mostly on the suspension pieces, and then up here it's going to be like kind of on the frame rail. But I'm going to try to focus on this area right here. I think I'll do an aluminum for that. You don't need much with this at all. What I'll do is I'll put in like I normally do and just get my brush in the paint, and then try to use a paper towel to get most of it, most of the paint off, so I'm not putting a whole bunch down. I'm just kind of trying to streak it a little bit. Let's see what I got here. Gonna be light with it. Yeah, like don't need much, just hitting kind of the high points. And I tend to move, you know, obviously the direction the car is moving, so I think it's probably good. It doesn't take much, but and lets a good effect happen there. So I think I'm done with the back part of that. I'm going to focus on getting the roll cage in and the rest of it. So I've got the seat in. You can see what that one coat of floor polish did. It really kind of gives it a vinyl look to it. Got the fire extinguisher and the shifter in. The only thing I've got to put in yet, there's the battery as well. The only thing I've got to put in yet is the two pieces here. One is a differential cooler, I believe, and the other is a box. I have no idea what it is. Obviously, it's not the battery because it's right there, but your 80s monogram cars basically had the battery in there. You didn't put the battery in it, but where the battery box was right there. So I don't have any idea what that box is. I'm just going to paint it silver and put it in. So then I'll put the roll cage in, and then I need to paint the front here because it's kind of shot a focus on the back of it. So I'll get the front all painted, put the front suspension in, get the engine in, jar shaft in. Got the dashboard done. Get that out here. Just simple satin black and aluminum on the panel there. I gotta touch up a little bit of aluminum there on the top, but I got the gauge decals in. So we're moving right along, and I think that'll be it for this video. And I'll I'll see y'all next time.